Hello and welcome to another episode of LowEndBox TV. Have you looked for a free VPS? They're hard to find, but there are places where you can get a free VPS. A lot of times there's some important gotchas and limited time and this sort of thing, and we're going to go into all of that today as we go on a quest to find a truly free VPS. Now, some years ago, if you had asked me, hey, where can I get a free VPS? I would have pointed you to privatehosting.eu. That was a website that was run by DM McIntyre 3. That was his username. Started back in 2010, and you could sign up on the site, and as long as you participated in the forum, you would be able to I shouldn't say bid, but you could put your name in for a free VPS, and eventually you'd get one. I tried it out a couple times. They had some nice offers. A lot of times hosts would, who had many VPSs they were selling, they would put one on free VPS or two just for kind of an advertising thing. Now the site shut down, the forum shut down in 2018, middle of the year, and I think that was because they'd lost some of their major sponsors. They didn't have as many free VPSs to offer, and also I think this model is difficult to make work. There have been other forums that have tried this over the years, but from the provider's point of view, they're offering a free VPS, hoping that people will try out their service and then sign up for a paid VPS, and that tends not to happen, right? People who get a free VPS, they just continue to use that free VPS. They don't have a whole lot of motivation to upgrade that system. And the people who need bigger VPSs, they're going to pay, because the free VPS won't meet their needs. So it just doesn't seem to work out from the provider point of view. And I think from the forum hosting point of view, you would need to have a massive amount of traffic to get the advertising revenue necessary to justify paying for that. Forum hosting, you typically need a larger system to host a forum because of the CPU activity, etc. So, it was a great forum while it lasted, but it is past. Now, that doesn't mean, though, that there are no places you can get a free VPS. I'd like to walk through some of the major ones here. We're going to start in kind of a surprising place. It's actually quite bizarre to kick off this list with Oracle. And believe it or not, the Oracle Cloud, they have a free tier, and it's actually one of the most generous vendors on this list. You can get up to 2 instances with up to 100 gigs of storage, and if you sign up, and there's a couple different flavors of the Oracle Cloud free tier. They have a free trial where you get $300 in credit, but if you go down, you'll see there are some always free resources here. Compute up to 2 instances, block storage up to 100 gigs, etc. You should definitely check the details, and most of these places, most of the free trials we're going to talk about, you're limited on how much network you can use, etc. But this one does appear to be one of the most generous on the list, and in fact, if you go to LowEndTalk, there is a extensive conversation about this. I would encourage you to read that forum and read that. Actually, we have information here, 10 megabit bandwidth. So again, it's not something you're going to run the next Facebook on, but certainly for monitoring sites, small hosting sites, etc., might be a good choice. Now, let's look at some of the other big public clouds. Amazon's offer is pretty typical of the rest of them. You can get a 1-year trial to sign up with their with AWS, and that gives you access to a T2 micro or T3 micro, pretty small box, and you get enough hours to run it for 12 months. During that time, there's no charge whatsoever. Now, you do have to give them a credit card because, for all they know, you're going to go fire up a whole bunch of other systems, and that's you'll be charged for those. But, for example, you could run your small Amazon instance there on an EC2. You could also use RDS. You get enough hours for to run a separate MySQL, Postgres, etc. System, and you get some other options as well. Now, they do also have, besides the stuff that is the 12-month free trial, there is some always free stuff. Amazon DynamoDB is a NoSQL database that allows you to store up to 25 gigs of information, and that is always free. So you have essentially everyone in the world has 25 gigs in the cloud. And there's some other stuff here. Glacier there's a small amount of Glacier. SES, which I've used, a small email service, very nice email service. So definitely worth taking a look at Amazon and see if that'll meet your needs. Now again, that's a 12-month duration. Similar story over here on Azure from Microsoft. Now before you ask, yes, you can run Linux VMs on the Microsoft Cloud. Of course you can run Windows VMs as well, but for 12 months you get 12 months of their free services, and there's some always free services, plus you get a $200 credit to explore other stuff. And it's, again, worth checking up. You can get a Linux machine or a Windows machine. Again, it's a very small system, some disk, some storage, SQL databases, which is going to be SQL Server, as you would expect from Microsoft, and it gives you a good chance to get in there and explore. Now, between the two of them, if you were willing to do the migrations and the DNS, you could get 2 years of free VMs in the cloud. And of course, we're talking about AWS, we've talked about Azure, we now have to talk about Google. Now, Google also has a Google Cloud free program. This is going to sound very familiar. You get a micro instance with limited hard disk, limited network, etc., etc. I believe it's a 90-day trial with them though. So it's a 90-day. You get $300 of credit, which is enough to run some of these services, and you can. They do also, I believe, have some always free stuff. Maybe not. You'll have to check their offerings out. But basically, it's a 90-day trial if you want to run a VM there. So now we're up to like 2 years and 3 months of free stuff. So that'll get you the major public clouds. Of course, there's also the IBM Cloud. Now, they offer some free tier services. They don't have a 1-year trial, but some credits you can spend for 30 days. And $200, and then you can decide how you want to use those credits. They do have some always-on free services such as object storage, a small Cloudant database, which is a JSON document database, etc. So there's some, again, you can stitch together some of these free offerings, but worth checking out. IBM seems to have been lagging a little bit behind in the big cloud wars, and really the public is not so much their strong suit as it is businesses. Now, speaking of other big public clouds, you have the Alibaba Cloud. Now, this one is going to sound very familiar. You can use their Elastic Compute. Hey, where'd they get that name? For up to 12 months. They've got a free trial. You can, let's see here. Yeah, this is with their 1 core, 1 gig, etc., etc. And they've got a RDS service. They've got other systems. This is going to look very familiar for those who've been using AWS. Alibaba's kind of cloned their solutions and are offering the same kind of 1-year trial, so you can try that out. So if we put all the big public clouds together, I think we're up to about 3.5 years worth of free services if you're willing to periodically move stuff around. Of course, these companies are hoping that you'll fall in love with their services and begin using their APIs and really get stuck to their systems, and the next thing you know, you're in over your head and you can't get out. But that's what's out there in the big public cloud. Now let's step down to kind of the next tier down in the marketplace and look at, before we continue, I'd like to highlight one of our community advertisers. Crossbox provides an all-in-one self-hosted communication suite. They've rebuilt email, chat, and file serving from the ground up to give you the ultimate all-in-one communication tool. Their solution includes a powerful email composer, screen sharing, file sharing, chat, email management, and advanced search and automation features. I played with their demo, and the product has the features you'd find in other products such as Microsoft Teams, except Crossbox is self-hosted, so you have full control over the solution. Apps are available for both Android and Apple devices, and the product natively supports over 100 languages. Crossbox also integrates easily with cPanel, Plesk, or DirectAdmin. Notable community provider MXRoute also offers a hosted email service that comes with Crossbox included. Visit crossbox.io to take a tour of this impressive solution, try the demo, and if you like what you see, you can be up and running in minutes. If you're interested in taking control of your communication, visit crossbox.io. Companies like Vultr. Now with Vultr, you can get $50 in free credit. With DigitalOcean, you can get $100 in free credit. And with Linode, you get $100 in free credit. Let's see, Linode is 60, I think all of these are 60 days, Vultr, DigitalOcean, and Linode. So you get those credits for up to 60 days, and you can do pretty much whatever you want. Now that means if of course, you could blow through $100 in credit in a matter of a day or so. If you fire up really big systems, you're just paying, these rates here, depending on what you sign up for. So you could certainly, like I say, it's for 60 days, but if you sign up for an $80 a month VM, obviously you won't even make it to 30 days. So, but that's a good way to get some free service from these companies. Again, they're hoping that you'll like their systems and sign up with them, but they are offering free trials and free credits. And of course, these are for new accounts only, and you have to give them a credit card and those kind of things. Now, there's a company called Atlantic.net. They will offer a full year of a free VPS. This gives you a VPS, 50 gigs of block storage, and 50 gigs of snapshots if you sign up with them. Free for 1 year. I personally have no experience with Atlantic.net, but worth checking out. You can't beat the price. Another company in this market is accuwebhosting. Now this is a 1-month trial, 1-month free trial with Windows 2012. Now I would note, I looked at this and you only get, let's see here, here we go, a gig of RAM. You do get a dedicated IP and 2 vCPUs, 35 gigs of disk, and a nice chunk of bandwidth, but it's only 1 gig of dedicated RAM, which I think for Windows 2012 server is going to be a bit tight. But depending on if you're a good Windows admin, maybe you can make that work. Important to note here, it's 1 month, and then after that, it's $14.97 a month. So if you decide to sign up for this and try this for a month, make sure that you're either watching the calendar closely, or it's something that you decided you want to keep, because probably day 30 or 31, you're going to get that bill for $14.97. There are also a couple really ultra short-term trials. Let me show you those. One is here at privatehosting.eu. You can get a nice 2 gig or 1 gig with DDoS protection, but only for 2 days. So if you sign up, you just need something maybe to help you migrate something, or you just need to temporarily get a service going, or you just want to try them out. This is not necessarily a bad thing to stick with a host if you decide that you like the trial, but that's only for 2 days. Similarly, UpCloud will give you a trial here for a 3-day free trial, and they give you a gig of RAM, 1 CPU, 25 gigs of storage, and a terabyte of transfer, but it's only for 3 days. And before you even have this thought, most of these companies will block port 25, so don't think you're going to sign up and send out a whole bunch of spam. Believe it or not, they have thought of that, so that's not going to work. Now, there are some longer-term free hosts where you can get really kind of ongoing free VPSs, and that's probably of the greatest interest here. So let's look at some of those. Nano KVM, they are out of stock at the moment, but definitely worth watching this site. You can get, some pretty generous memory allocations here. Your choice of operating system in, Norway, Germany, the United States, Netherlands, or Romania. Nice project. If you're interested in doing that, you should check it out. Now this is a NAT VPS. Now if you're not familiar with a NAT VPS, NAT is an NAT, network address translation. That means you're not getting your own dedicated IPv4. You are sharing an IPv4 and you're getting a range of ports on it. So, but depending on what you're doing, that might be okay for you. Certainly if you're running a VPN or you want to log in and do some development work or what have you, then this could be a good choice for you. Like I say, they're out of stock, but if you go to nanokvm.net and just watch that page on a regular basis, when something pops up, you can grab one of those free VPSs. Now there's another company here called EUserve, and they have a free VPS which they will offer you for a year. I'm sorry, actually that's just a free ongoing. There is no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say a year. There's really no limit mentioned here about how long this will be available to you. It says, it's kind of confusing here because it says you get an IPv4 address free of charge, but then up here it says the model can be used free of charge with IPv6. So you'll have to probably clarify with them what exactly it is you're getting. But even if it's just an IPv6, getting a free VPS with a gig of RAM, and what do you get here? You get 10 gigs of disk. It's certainly adequate for setting up a monitor, maybe doing a VPN or something like that. Looks kind of interesting, definitely worth checking out. Another option is MicroLXC, and you're getting a container here. So this is not a VPS, but you are getting a container under which you can run whatever you wish. Kind of a cool project sponsored by some famous companies in in the low-end hosting world. You've got Nexus Bytes, Terra Hosts, Baker IT, and I think there's another one, Novus.be. Some of those have posted offers on LowEndBox, so definitely worth checking this project out. There is a great thread on this on LowEndTalk. Just look for the MicroLXC public test. Check it out. You need to be a member of the forum, but you can get a free container. Final option is Evolution Host. Now this one's a little bit different than the other ones because it says, you'll notice here, to qualified applicants. Now they're looking for people, by the way, these are very generous boxes, 8 CPU cores, 64 gigs of RAM, but they're looking for sites that have a fair amount of traffic, sites that are well established and people are able to give them a backlink and give them some traffic. But if you've got that kind of site, this might be a fantastic option for you. So that's all the free hosts that I'm aware of. Some of them, like I say, are long-term free. Oracle Cloud's very attractive there with its really free offering that at least at this point is intended, or they've stated that it's it's permanently free. Then you've got Amazon, Azure, Google, IBM, and Alibaba that have kind of more of a limited time offer, up to a year in some cases. Then you've got companies such as Vultr, DigitalOcean, and Linode that do a 60-day trial, and then some other companies in there that do either very short-term or other similar offers. But we did at the end there go through a list of companies that do a long-term free offering, right? You've got NanoKVM, EUserve, and then MicroLXC, and if you can qualify, Evolution Host. I hope you found this a useful guide. Now, if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. I'd also like to invite you to visit us at LowEndBox or LowEndTalk, where we've got fantastic deals in the hosting industry. Maybe you're not looking for completely free. You can afford $1 or $2 a month. Come to our site and you'll see some great deals. We've got content, a lot of great technical content, thoughts and opinions from industry leaders, and very spirited discussion about all things hosting. Until next time, happy hosting.